Hey, welcome back. More Age of Empires here. We're trying out our early wheelbarrow opening here. And we're up against an English opponent. We're playing as the Abbasid. The map is Dry Arabia. I feel pretty good going Abbasid on Dry Arabia. I'm a little nervous about going up against an English opponent, but I do like that this wheelbarrow build allows me to be a little greedy against the English. When you go full greed against the English, they can really punish you. Their feudal age push is incredibly strong, so I'm glad that I have an option besides just going straight 2 bases. Because if I go 2 bases and he ram rushes me, it's over. Or I'm going to have a very hard time defending it. And I'll end up being very behind. So we're going to get our early wheelbarrow. And we really need to find out what our opponent is up to. Scouting English players is starting to become very important. I think I actually decided to build a second late scout here. That way I can still kind of do my greedy opening, but I really want to know what's going on. It could be early man-at-arms, it could be a longbow push, it could be Dark Age farms, it could be a quick town center into a 3rd town center with the King's Palace. It's really hard to know, so we're going to scout as best we can. I'm thinking we're gonna see longbowmen. I have to check to see if they're gonna go council hall, but I mean they almost always do. Once we spot the landmark, we can make a lot more decisions. If they go Abbey of Kings, then that means we're likely going to see horseman pressure. But if they're going council hall, yep, we're going to deal with longbowmen. We're scouting his base. We saw the council hall. We're seeing a lot of villagers on wood. And when we see lots of villagers on wood, that's kind of an issue. That means our opponent wants to produce a lot of longbowmen because they're a very wood intensive unit. And yeah, there's the second scout coming out. I decided to put a outpost down at the front of my base because it's going to guard my gold, and it's kind of going to guard this kind of walk through here. I don't want his units to be able to pass through this area over here, so it felt like a good placement. And the moment I age up, I'm going to get down a stables and I'm going to get down a blacksmith. My thinking here with the blacksmith is if I can get this upgrade here, iron undermesh, it'll increase my ranged armor for all my units. And that's really important against an opponent who's just going longbowman. In fact, here comes the longbowman rush. Fortunately, this wolf is going to kind of pester them as they're coming along. I see it coming thanks to the scout. Thank you, scout. And we're going to start building a outpost. And what I really should have done here is put more villagers on this outpost, because that's really going to discourage them from discourage my opponent from moving in. Second scout coming around. He did not live long, unfortunately. This scout did not have a long lifespan. At least this one's hiding out in the stealth forest. Maybe he learned from this other scout. So I realize I'm going to lose my villager who's building this outpost to all of these longbowmen, but if I rush over other villagers, we can finish it out before my opponent. And so now we're just going to do a little dance. The horsemen have good armor, and actually that +1 ranged upgrade is already done. So damage to these horsemen is reduced by 3 if it's a ranged attack. So the longbowmen are dealing 6, but it's reduced down to 3. So it's really going to help my horsemen. Oh wow, that horseman just kind of ran in place. We get him to cancel the outpost, And now we're just trying to get up our horseman numbers. We're also going for a second stable. And he's trying to attack my villagers on the gold here. So I'm trying to kind of zip them back inside the outpost when they get attacked, and I'm going to put the arrow slits emplacement on this outpost. Because we are starting to gather stone on the back end of this. We got our fresh foodstuffs upgrade. We're just pumping horsemen at this point. If all I'm seeing are longbowmen, he's not going to like fighting my horsemen. Here they come. It doesn't seem like a good trade. I mean, he's got a lot of longbowmen, but you'd be surprised what 4 or 5 upgraded horsemen can do. They do bonus damage to these ranged units. So you see it says +9 versus ranged. So they're actually dealing 18 a hit. This 9 attack is incorrect. They're actually doing 18 per attack. They attack very slowly, but it's incredibly effective. That's why if your opponent masses archers or crossbowmen or even hand cannoneers, you can counter them pretty well with these horsemen. And you can see, look at how much damage we've done with these horsemen. He is just completely underestimating how much damage these horsemen are dealing to his units. And the longbowmen have a really slow movement speed. So we've completely shut down his attack. He could have easily prevented all of these losses if he had just made one barracks. And that's what I do when I play as the English. It's so silly to just send your longbowmen out on the map without any kind of spearman protection. So we're gonna keep going, and if we can get some villager kills while we're out here, that'd be amazing. Looks like we got 1, that's 2, although we're losing a lot of our horsemen to the town center. Oof. Yeah, we're losing a lot. That took down our numbers substantially, but I mean, he's still only at maybe 8. If these horsemen fully engage with these longbowmen, they're gonna lose. These longbowmen are gonna die. Yeah, it only takes a moment for my horseman to get on top of his units, and now he's taking a lot of damage. I'm happy to just trade with the longbowmen. I'll kill longbowmen left and right. I can't really seem to get on top of his villagers enough to really kill them. The horsemen, yeah, they're doing amazing damage to the archers, but they don't do much to villagers. So what do we get on the back end of pushing him out? Well, we're getting more upgrades, so we're going to get +1 melee. We've put down a few farms because I've noticed that if I kind of slowly transition into the farm economy, things go a lot better for me. And farming's better when you have wheelbarrow. So I'm glad to see that I'm making the transition, though I am still reliant on berries. I've put an outpost out here, and I've got a mill, and we're beginning to gather from these berry bushes. In fact, we've already taken one out. We're still going to scout around with our scout. We want to know what he's up to. What is his pivot going to be now that he had his tower rush shut down? And I'm looking good on... I have lots of resources, so I want to know what to do with my resources. Do I go up to the next age, basically save up this food that I've gathered and use it to go to the castle age, or do I just spam out a bunch more horsemen? Regardless, I'm going to get my second town center up because we were able to gather enough stone and we needed to get enough wood. So now it's difficult for me to make horsemen. I don't have any wood left. Though if I were my opponent, I would not be spamming more longbowmen. I'd probably be going for either spearmen or just turtling up and trying to go to the next stage. We're scouting around. We're seeing some gold being mined. Our opponent has likely been mining this gold for some time. In fact, you can actually see in the current resources nearly 900 gold for my opponent. Just hasn't been spending it. English just don't really have anything to spend it on. I'm seeing more longbowmen getting produced from the council hall. It's a little concerning. So after seeing that, I decided to spam out some more horsemen. And I'm also going to go in with my scout and my horsemen here. You'll notice I'm continually making scouts. That's good. There's the big ball of longbowmen. I think this is when I decide to spam out even more horsemen. That just confirmed my suspicions. But knowing that his archer ball is up here, we're going to go after some villagers down here. So that's maybe our third villager kill. We're not going to get greedy. We're just going to go for one villager and then back out. And now we're dealing about 10 damage per attack. So the villagers are a little bit easier to take down. As you can see, we're still spamming out these horsemen. Until I see spearmen or a barracks, I'm just going to keep making them. There's no reason to just assume he's not going to keep making longbowmen. And we're definitely rallying more units over to the gold. It looks like we're almost to that age up. We really want that age up. And we also want, yeah, more military structures. I have to assume he's going to make a transition to spearmen. So why not anticipate it and put down some archery ranges so that we can make camel archers or just regular archers. We're going up with our culture wing. It seems like the smart move. Could have gone trade wing and maybe started trading with the market, which is likely right here. I'm tempted to try it out sometime. I just really like the cheap upgrades. Sending villagers over here to chop from this outline or this wood line because this one's kind of thinning out and I really want to use it as a natural wall. I'll probably have these villagers chop and we'll continue to rally villagers, yeah, to this wood cluster. So economy's looking good. We've basically secured this stone, these berries, this wood. I mean, these palisade walls are really, really helpful. They're also going to secure this gold and this stone. So we don't really have to venture out on the map. We've managed to secure a corner. And we're also keeping him in his base. We saw his longbowman there, and I realized he's keeping all of his longbowmen in one big ball. So why don't we split up our forces? I'll have some go around the back, and I'll have others attack from the front. That way we can get some kills no matter where we're coming from. I decide this group will be the one that keeps his attention. So we charge in, we get a villager kill. That's maybe 4 or 5 villager kills at this point. We lose a horseman because, man, that English town center is terrifying. And we're hoping he notices us. I'm hoping he's sending his longbowman around. I'm going to bring the scout out because I want to save the scout. These horsemen I'm going to consider disposable. They're going to go in the wood line and distract him. These horsemen are going to come from the other side. We get another villager there, building that stable. And now we're killing villagers in the wood line. So that's another 2 up there. 3, 4 over here. And we spot the king's palace going up. Not much we can do about it. We can try to throw torches at it with our horsemen, but we're just going to avoid it. We've already aged up. Not too surprising that our opponent's aging up as well. If he's lagging a little bit on his castle age up, then maybe we can use this mosque and grab up some relics. I'm also realizing I didn't see anything too crazy. I saw stables. I saw just more longbowmen. So let's just keep making what we've got, but make better cavalry. We'll start making lancers. And we did get our barracks, so we're gonna produce some man-at-arms. They're just good against they're good against longbowmen, and until we see a large knight or cavalry mass, we're not gonna make spearmen. Ooh, would really like to get another villager kill here. These horsemen are just completely ruining this player. Fruits are fruits, hashtag fruit, not doing great. These horsemen need to get out of here. Scout just kind of patrolling the map. I'm trying to finish out my scouting of the map. Make sure I know where all of the relics are, although I do see them, and they're very well distributed on the map. It looks like there's 1 in the center and then 2 on the sides, each kind of close to us. But now we've really built up a force. This is looking good. We're also getting down a siege workshop, and our economy is just flowing. We're on 2 town centers. Our opponent is as well, but I think we've had ours earlier. And now that we have our preservation of knowledge research, we're getting lots more techs because they're nice and cheap. I'd love to see maybe some more economic upgrades, although we did just get that the farming upgrade from the House of Wisdom. And you can see we're still adding on just little bits of farms. And I really like seeing that. I like that slow transition over to farms because eventually these berries just disappear and suddenly you've got nothing to go off of. Looks like we're getting berries out here as well. That's the nice part about having a standing army. You can maybe start to take things out on the map. We actually put a keep down over here because we got really aggressive with our stone mining. I believe I had a group of villagers that had finished up work on something. I think maybe this wood line, or perhaps they were building some structures, and I realized, why don't you just go mine stone so that we can secure something out on the map, like these sacred sites. I'll continue to grab stone. It doesn't seem like I need more of an army. Once again, sending cavalry to the backside, and on the front, we're going to get his attention with our units. Killing more villagers. I don't know why my opponent put these farms on the front side of his base. It would have been so much wiser to tuck them back in here. At least then walls could do something. He wisely sends his villagers home, and we're going to try to engage. This is when I see a big mass of knights. They're going to be really tanky and allow these longbowmen, the veteran longbowmen, he got the upgrade for them. That's going to allow them to deal a lot of damage. Fortunately, the camel archers, they have camel unease, so they're causing all these knights to do reduced damage. The problem is that the veteran longbowmen are just dealing good damage. And they're not getting attacked by horsemen or cavalry. He now has something to screen his longbowmen. His spears would have screened for his archers ages ago, but he for some reason just did not go for it. Looks like I forget about these units back here. They're just sort of attacking this, the King's Palace. I really need to get them out of here. Would love to save these units. And it was not a good engagement for me, though I did get some villagers out of it. And I am keeping him in his base, and I did get a preview of his army. If he counterattacks me, I've at least got a nice crew to defend. We've got these outposts, and the only other exposed positions we have are down here and over here, which is, I mean, secured by a keep. It's not all that dangerous to be mining out here. And I decide, let's get these sacred sites. He's not going to come out on the map. We've got him trapped in his base. Let's take these sacred sites, and that's really going to boost our income. And if we look at income per minute, you can really see the villager damage that I've caused. I've just been double producing villagers this whole time, and we've been picking off his villagers just 1, 2 at a time, and it's been incredibly effective. Cavalry versus these English players is just so strong. And we've got a Springald outpost, or a Springald emplacement on this outpost, so it's pretty effective against these cavalry. They have high armor, but the Springalds just deal so much damage. So now we're duking it out here. We've got all these longbowmen. They're on the run, but they're just not fast enough. They have to flee because of the mangonel. If they engage, okay, here comes some reinforcing knights. Does he want to take this fight? It looks like he just might, but I fortunately have some very veteran spearmen in the mix. And now the mangonel's taking shots. He's splitting up his units. The camel archer is reducing the damage of all these knights. He should probably target it down. He's trying to split the longbowmen up, and he has them pretty well split. I'm going to send some of my cavalry forward, but he's lost all of his knights. With these knights gone, we're able to move into melee range and take out his units. And he cannot seem to attack this mangonel. We're just covering it too well. While they were duking it out over here, he probably could have sent his knights over to destroy the mangonel. That would have been a free pickup. I'm deciding to group my units up again because I'm worried he might bring in more knights and just destroy my mangonel. And this mangonel is what's winning me the game right now. I can use it to start taking down structures. It's very effective versus these farms. I mean, these mangonels just rip farms apart. In the religious game, it looks like we're up to 2 relics and 2 sacred sites, and we're trying to grab the rest. There's one over here, there's one over here. In terms of upgrades, okay, we're kind of chugging along. It looks like we've gotten, yes, our level 2 ranged armor, which is ideal. We're adding in more military buildings. So more military production is very important. And it looks like I actually rallied some spearmen inside of my base, mostly because I saw him producing so many cavalry. I just don't want any knight run-bys. I'm using the crossbowmen to target down the knights. I just don't want his cavalry to get on top of this mangonel. You can see they've got their torches out. He realizes he needs to kill the mangonel. Oh, great shots from the mangonel there. But yeah, they just cannot seem to get in range with these crossbowmen dealing damage. These mangonel got nerfed a lot, but if you only have archers, you're gonna take a lot of damage. He's got them spread out pretty well. Oh, and now the mangonel decided to stop shooting. But this one lancer here is just cutting down all of these longbowmen. No bonus damage versus ranged, but 25 attack, that's going to be good against most anything. Knights are just big damage dealers. I've lost my units. Fortunately, he doesn't come forward for the mangonel. If I needed to, I could at least move the mangonel near this outpost, which has a springald emplacement. And now I'm bringing back up to keep the mangonel safe. We're securing another sacred site with this keep. We're gonna grab that relic with this imam, and then we'll grab the sacred site and put my opponent on a timer. Just kind of harassing on the back end here. Found a few of his villagers. Get maybe one villager kill before this horseman's taken out. And we decide to get a springald as well because my opponent's realizing he can't get his cavalry on top of my siege units, so he's probably going to make springalds to counter it. I'm also thinking he's going to make a keep at some point. A keep would really defend what he's got here. A keep right here would be really good, but he has not been mining stone at all for the entire game. And just look at the income per minute. I think things are over for my opponent. The military trades have just been so advantageous for me. Even when I trade out kind of evenly with his army, it's still to my advantage because I'm out on the map, I'm picking things up, and I've got my 2 town centers just churning out villagers. Sure, he's probably at 2 as well, but he's losing them occasionally. Oh, love the springald emplacement on this outpost. The mangonel, I'm actually keeping some units back with the mangonel. I say to myself, as long as the mangonel's firing, it's earning back some of its money. So keeping these units back, it seems like an okay idea to me. We're gonna start targeting down the springald with our own springald, and there we go. As long as these siege units stay alive, they can start to earn some of their worth. My opponent taps out. I think my early harassment and my horseman play and his lack of spearmen is what won me the game. It got me villager kills, it got me advantageous trades, and I was able to see his army at almost all times. Really happy with how much scouting I did as well. It was a good game, and I hope to see you back for another good one.